I'm feeling inspired. I have energy. I slept well, and I feel like I'm on a roll. The last story that I did called Under the Pear Tree, which I submitted to Tin House, it took place roughly out where I grew up at my dad's on a ranch in the woods. And I don't normally write about that place. There's a lot of darkness for me, but it's fertile. And I spent a lot of time in those woods, and I want to spend some more time there. So I want to walk you through my entire process, start to finish. And that's the seed, is I am writing the comment of a previously executed story that I like. So I'm going to go back there. That's the first decision I've made in terms of this short story. And where I'm at now is I have just the seeds of images. There was a tract of forest outside my father's property that my brother and I would sneak into. It was off limits. The timber company owned it. And I can just see so clearly us passing through the barbed wire fence onto the other side of it and going up that hill as kids. I've got that image. So what I'm going to do right now during this first writing session, it's 8:49 in the morning, is I'm going to start by free writing. I have this way that I often write, which is sort of like a hybrid of morning pages and perhaps kind of pre-writing, if they did that in your high school growing up. And essentially what I do is I start freehand writing like one normally does on morning pages, talking about what's up, talking about how I feel, downloading personal stuff, just the classic mind dump, clear your brain of all the nonsense. And then I start brainstorming. So what I'll probably do today is jot down images from that trail, feelings, maybe snippets of conversations with my brother, the wildlife, just as quickly as possible, bring myself there, transport myself back to that time, that place, and the emotions of that moment. And from there, I'm hoping to latch on to some kind of narrative spine. And once I get to the end of the 3 pages, I'm going to start writing on the word processor. Okay, I'm going to do this standing. Got to stretch it out a little bit. That was, I went for like 100 minutes there, almost 2 hours. And y'all, I got a first draft. Well, I don't know if it's like a proper first draft, but it's a beginning, middle, and end, almost 4,000 words. Everything worked out. The plan worked out. How fortunate is that? It doesn't always happen that way, does it? But I did what I said I was going to do. I wrote on the legal pad and, then moved on to the word processor. I've already made a copy of the document. Anyway, I've got a few non-writing obligations the next few hours, and then I'm going to revisit this. I wonder how far I can push this story today. I did write it stream of consciousness, the Jean Fosse influence. It's non-linear, not exactly non-linear, but several parts where the narrative scoots back in time and like flashbacks, memories, fragments, a la John Fosse. So it's cool. It feels like I've been reading that. Someone reading this story might say, okay, wow, this guy clearly has been reading a lot of that in a way that might be dubbed derivative. I don't care. I don't care right now. What I'm interested in right now is writing stories. The story is very me. My heart and soul are in it. And if there's some formal overlap, some formal inspiration, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. No one in a million years is going to accuse this of plagiarism, It's just like trying out some stuff that I'm finding really cool recently in my reading. Okay, so yes, I'll get you some fun Mexico stuff here coming up, I promise. And I'll also dip back into this story later. Good morning. 7 o'clock, Wednesday. I want to write another short story today. Yesterday, I sat down on a live stream with y'all and wrote 4,000 words. Started from scratch, a brand new short story. And I want to do that again today. And I have to credit here a slight book moment. Jean Fosse. I've now read 2 of his books. Yesterday, I finished The Shining. Rather, A Shining, not Stephen King's The Shining. A Shining, referring to a shining white presence in the woods. Gosh, this guy knows how to write. The sentences just flow. It's so compact, so compressed, so precise. And that book, I don't know, it got to me again, like Alice at the Fire, the free-flowingness, the confidence, the absence of the precision. Well, let me get this right. Extremely precise. An absence of the constrictedness of, say, Shirley Jackson, Samantha Schweblin, Franz Kafka. It's expansive. It's flowing. And I want to keep writing like that. So, it's Thursday afternoon. For several months, I've been working on a Christmas horror story. I got some good notes. It came out inspired. The several Shirley Jackson stories that I've been reading compelled me to write this story. But in the last couple rounds of notes that I got, I realized that there was a clinical nature to this story. There was a detached nature to this story. Detached from my own experience, that is. And part of what made me realize that, I had that feeling anyway, but I also felt it more acutely after watching an interview of Ray Bradbury. Today in Horror Story Club, we read The Crowd, a story by Ray Bradbury, and folks in the Discord were talking about Mr. Bradbury, his experience, and someone shared an interview where he talks passionately about how he doesn't think when he's writing, or he tries as much as possible to turn off the analytical side of his brain, and he tries to feel. He said in this interview, you must never think at the typewriter, you must feel. And I thought about this story that I'm working on, and I realized that when I wrote it, I wasn't really feeling all that much, certainly in comparison to other stories that I've written in the last few weeks, which I really like. And so I said to myself, hey, why don't you take another crack at that story, revisit it, start from the beginning, incorporate all the notes that you've been given about what's working, what's not working, and see if you can just fluidly tell this story again, a little more attached to some kind of emotional core. So that's what I've been doing the last hour and a half, and I feel really good about the progress that I'm making. And I think that I'm going to have a piece that I'm proud of by the time this end of month submission cycle comes around. It's really cool. I'm just having a really good time learning how to write, trying on a bunch of clothes. I'm in the store, and I'm just going to the racks and taking stuff off the racks and going back to the changing room and putting this on and being like, oh, this is fresh, this is good, I like this. And then trying something else on and saying, you know what, this is even better. What was I thinking? That other idea was so amateur. This is way cooler. And that's happening in real time right now with this story, where I liked it, and now I'm trying on a new style with it that's more connected, and I like it even more. I think that this might conclude this blog. I feel like it's such an exciting time in my life as a writer and an artist, and I want to express gratitude for that and for all the people who are holding space for that for me. And I'm grateful for YouTube to afford this forum to feel seen, to make work.